Louis XVI was officially arrested on August the 13th, 1792, and sent to the Temple, an ancient Parisian fortress used as a prison. On the 21st of September, the National Assembly declared France to be a republic and abolished the monarchy. On the 11th of December, the deposed king was brought from the Temple to stand before the convention and hear his indictment. An accusation of high treason and crimes against the state. On the 15th of January, 1793, the convention, composed of 721 deputies, voted out the verdict, which was a foregone conclusion. 693 voted guilty, and none voted for acquittal. The next day, a voting roll call was carried out in order to decide upon the fate of the king. And the result was, for such a dramatic decision, uncomfortably close. 288 deputies voted against death, and for some other alternative, many for some form of imprisonment or exile. 72 deputies voted for the death penalty, but subject to a number of delaying conditions and reservations. Three 361 deputies voted for Louis's immediate death. Louis was condemned to death by a majority of 1 vote. Louis wrote his last will and testament a month ago on Christmas Day. Here is an extract. Today, the 25th day of December, 1792, I, Louis XVI, King of France, being for more than 4 months imprisoned with my family in the tower of the Temple of Paris by those who were my subjects, and deprived of all communication whatsoever, even with my family, since the 11th instant, moreover involved in a trial, the end of which it is impossible to foresee on the account of the passions of men, and for which one can find neither pretext nor means in any existing law, and having no other witnesses for my thoughts than God, to whom I can address myself, I hereby declare in his presence my last wishes and feelings. I pardon with all my heart those who have made themselves my enemies, without my having given them any cause, and I pray God to pardon them, as well as those who, through false or misunderstood zeal, did much harm to me. I exhort my son, should he have the misfortune of becoming king, to remember he owes himself wholly to the happiness of his fellow citizens. I pardon again, very readily, those who guard against me, the ill treatment and the vexations which they thought it necessary to impose upon me. I found a few sensitive and compassionate souls among them. May they in their hearts enjoy the tranquility which their way of thinking gives them. The carriage arrived in the greatest silence. Palace Louis XV. And came to a halt in the middle of a large empty space that had been left around the scaffold. As soon as the king descended from the carriage, 3 executioners surrounded him and wished to take off his coat. He repulsed them with dignity and took it off himself. The steps that led to the scaffold were extremely steep in ascent. But on arriving at the last step, Louis escaped, so to speak, crossed the length of the scaffold with a firm step to impose silence and distinctly pronounced these words. I die innocent of all the crimes imputed to me. I pardon the authors of my death and pray to God that the blood you are about to shed will never fall upon France. The drums are rolled to drown out his voice. Then the ropes come to the torso and to the legs. They tie him to a wooden plank. It's 10:24 a.m. and Sansa, the executioner, pulls on a lever which drops a blade and chops off Louis's head. Thus died, at the age of 38 years, Louis XVI of his name, whose ancestors had reigned France for more than 800 years.